Now we're doing what now? Now we're doing 1.3 now. 1.3 is what? 1.3 of our technical maths is making something a subject of the formula. So in this diagram now, what are we given? We are given the diagram below shows R1 in ohm and R2 in ohm. Light bulbs connected in parallel to a what? To a 24 volts battery now. So we are given what? We are given our circuit there. We're given our circuit there, which is our circuit there is how much? This is our parallel circuit, which is we're given a formula for this parallel circuit, which is 1 divided by RT is equals to how much? Is equals to 1 divided by R1 plus how much? 1 divided by R2. In the formula, RT represent what? The total resistance. R1 and R2 represent what? Resistance. So now let us just view the first question there. They say now make what? Make R1 the subject of the formula there. Make what? Make R1 the subject of the formula. So we're given the formula there that says now 1.3. 1.3 are given R divided by what? R total is equal to how much? 1 divided by how much? By R1 multiplied plus how much? Plus 1 divided by how much? 1 divided by R2. We will try to make what? R1 the subject of the formula. How are we going to do that? We just convert the R total. R total is equal to how much? R1 multiplied by R2 divided by how much? By R1 plus R2. So normally this is done in what? In electricity with what? Physical science, technical science, and electrical technology. This is what we do in electrical technology and all the subjects now. Which is what are we going to do now? We are going to try and do what? Cross multiply now, which is this multiplied by that, it will be how much? R1 multiplied by R2 is equal to how much? R total into how much? Into R1 plus R2. Remember, we are making R1 the subject of the formula, so we are going to divide by how much? R total. Divide by how much? By R total. R total and R total will do what? We divide each other. So we'll be left with what? We'll be left with R1 multiplied by R2 divided by how much? By R total is equal to how much? R1 plus R2 there. Which is now, therefore, our R1 will be equal to how much? Our R1 will be equal to R1 multiplied by R2 divided by R total. What? Minus how much? We are transposing this to the other side, which is minus how much? Minus R2 now. So this will be our subject of the formula. Our R1 will be equal to R1 will be equal to how much? R1 multiplied by R2 divided by R2 minus how much? Minus R2 there. That will be our R1. So this R1, remember that is coming from what? The product of what? R1 multiplied by R2. That's why you have R1 again that side. Thank you very much. So now, let's check the question now. It says, hence, calculate the numerical value of R1 if R total is equal to what? 20 ohm and what? R2 is equal to 15 ohm. So hence, it simply means what? It simply means we use what we got in 1.3.1, which is a weight of how much? 1.3.1, 1.3.1, 1.3 point how much? 0.2, which is, this is our subject of the formula. R1 is equal to how much? R1 multiplied by R2 divided by R total minus how much? Minus R2, which is we're given, we are not given R1 multiplied by R2 is equal to how much? R2 is equal to 15 ohm now. 15 divided by how much? By 20 ohm minus how much? Minus 15 there. Minus 15. Are we together? Which is what are we going to do? We are still having our R1 there. Which is what are we going to do now? We are going to transpose this to this side now. Are we together? Which is we're going to have how much now? We're going to have R1 minus how much? Minus 50 plus 15 is equal to how much? R1 multiplied by how much? By R2 divided by how much? By 20. Are we together? Which is what are we going to do now? We cross multiply now. Which is we're going to have 20 into how much? Into R1 plus how much? Plus 15 is equal to how much? Is equal to, let us just place our R2 there. Which is what is our R2 is 15. Which is right in 15 there. Which is we're going to have how much? R1 multiplied by how much? R1 multiplied by 15. Are you together? Which is what are we going to do from here now? Which is we're going to have 20 multiplied by R1. It will be how much? 20 out of 1. 20 multiplied by how much? 20 multiplied by 15. 20 multiplied by 15 is how much? Is 300 plus how much? 300 is equal to how much? 15 out of 1. Which is what are we going to do now? We can transpose this to the other side, which is we're going to have how much? We're going to have 300 is equal to how much? 50 out of 1 minus 20 out of 1, which is we're going to have how much? 300 is equal to how much? 50 minus this, it will be how much? Minus 5 out of 1. Which is what are we going to do now? We divide by negative 5, we divide by negative 5, therefore, out of 1 will be equal to how much? 300 divided by negative 5 is how much? Out of 1 is equal to negative 60 watts in ohm. Thank you very much.